Joining me on the news from Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to look at consumer rights is Kasarachi Lekwauwa, who's the managing partner of Kalepron Attorneys. Good to see you, Kasarachi. Well, I'd like us to explore the rights of a consumer quickly here, especially in Africa, something that that should interest Nigerians especially again. What rights should a would-be consumer be informed about?
Okay, thank you for having me this evening. Well, basically, the rights are what we define to be universal in terms of being that every one of us is a consumer of certain goods and services. So even service providers in an industry, when they move into another industry, they become consumers of that industry services. So some of the rights a consumer should ordinarily have includes the right to satisfaction. Yeah, when services are provided for a consumer, he should have that level of satisfaction that the value for which he spent money has been, achieved. That's something that every single consumer would want to have for every service. They pay money for, they should get value for their money, right? And then we also have, further rights such as the right to good environment, right? You should have that environment that allows you to be able to stay comfortable as a human being, right? So an environment that brings pollution, air pollution, water pollution, these are not good for consumers. Also the right to, safety. Safety is one of the cardinal rights a consumer should enjoy, either in terms of services rendered to him or products. So you don't want to have a situation where you receive a service or a product from a vendor and it becomes hazardous to your health or to your devices or whatever it is.
So let's jump in, Kasarachi, a moment here. Apologies, buttoning. Let's jump into the theme of this year's consumer rights day, fair digital finance. What's the implication to the consumer, especially as it relates to online products and services?
Yeah, so because we now have an increasing, digital engagement, most services are now purely or partially rendered, through digital platforms, especially digital finance. By the growth of fintech and online merchants and vendors, you can now see that the demand for products have now moved from physical shops to online platforms. Now, some of the rights, some of the major focus of this year's Consumer Rights Day is on fair digital finance, and fair digital finance in terms of the consumption people get online. Does it match, the value that they are placing on those products? Especially in the financial sector, we have had issues that relates to finances from borrowing companies, what you tag as, loan sharks. It has been the most recent issue on the financial space of Nigerians, where people go to, take loan services and then they are harassed, they're embarrassed, they receive threats and all of this because they are consumers of a financial service. So these are more where the focus of or remains the focus of this year's Consumer Rights Day. We want to also make sure that there is a fair playing ground, on the digital space for consumers. Another right that a consumer should enjoy is right to information, and this is one key area that the digital finance sector has not really made very great improvement on, or made radical development on. You see people engaging in digital services consumption without having good information about what they are going into. So for example, people go online, take up loans, they are not able to understand the terms and conditions that govern the loans they go into, and then thereafter they are being harassed. People going not being aware of the consequences of some of the things they are doing. In terms and conditions are at times vague, for the ordinary Nigerian or the ordinary man on the street who wants to take up these consumption services online. So we need to get to a point where, the rights of consumers are respected, they are made to be aware, and the consumer themselves are also aware, right? There's a saying that goes in consumer rights, you have to beware and also be aware. right? You have to
Right.
know what you're going into and also be aware of the consequences of your actions
A
online.
fine place for us to leave it. Kasarachi Lekwauwa, many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.